Hello, this is Bethany Daly with Get Knit Paint and Authentic Knitting Board, bringing you the newest edition of our Stitchology series. This month we're going to learn about a brand new technique called the triple wraparound stitch. This stitch pattern creates a wonderful, slightly lacy design with little loops alternating across the front of your fabric. The back is pretty neat looking too. So you could do this on any project that's going to be seen from both sides. So let's get started. The triple wraparound stitch is worked over repeating stitches of 4, so divisible by 4, and then at the very end we'll add 2 stitches, so 4 plus 2 stitches. In the round, it's just worked on a multiple of 4. Now I've cast on from left to right and begin every odd row from right to left and even rows from left to right. And of course in the round, cast on in a clockwise direction and knit all your rows in that pattern. All right, so row 1 of our 4 repeating rows begins with knit 2. I'm using a U-stitch for my knits. And then over pegs 3 and 4, we're going to do our first triple wraparound stitch. It gets its name from not that you're wrapping any of the pegs 3 times, but you're swinging back and forth between these 2 pegs a total of 3 times. It's just sort of feels like a triple wraparound. So it begins with a slipping 2 behind these 2 pegs. So just bring your working yarn behind pegs 2 and 3, and then you're going to slip on peg 3 with working yarn in front. So that just means we're going to act as if we're going to purl, but instead of lifting off that previous loop off the top of the peg and putting the new loop on the peg, we're going to just put that new loop on the peg and pull it down. So now the loop is carried behind the peg but in front of the work. So we're going to repeat that on peg 2. There we go, and it popped loose. Now the next step is to bring the working yarn. We're going to slip it again behind both pegs, like this, behind pegs 2 and 3, and then we're going to slip with working yarn in front on peg 3 one more time. Now bring it between pegs 2 and 3, and then wrap around clockwise around peg 2 and knit off, and then knit peg 3, and you've completed the triple wraparound stitch. Then you will complete the row with 2 knits. Okay, now row 2 is going to be all knits. Okay, now row 3 begins right away with a triple wraparound stitch worked on pegs 1 and 2. So we're going to slip pegs 1 and 2 with the working yarn behind, and then slip peg 2 with working yarn in front, and then slip peg 1 with working yarn in front, and then bring back around behind pegs 1 and 2 and slip with working yarn in front on peg 2 one more time, There we go. Now I'm going to bring between pegs 2 and 1 and E-wrap peg 1 in a clockwise direction, knit off, and then knit peg 2. Then the row continues on peg 3 and 4 with knits. So 2 knits. And then we're going to do another triple wraparound on pegs 5 and 6. So carry the working yarn behind pegs 5 and 6. Then slip with working yarn in front on first on peg 5. And then peg 6, and then peg 5. And then go behind pegs 5 and 6 one more time. And slip with working yarn in front on peg 6. Go between pegs 5 and 6 and wrap an E-wrap clockwise around peg 5 and knit off, and then knit peg 6. And that completes row 3 of our 4 pattern rows. Now row 4 is all knits. There we are. Now, these are the 6 pattern stitches. You might want to, because it begins and ends with the triple wraparound stitch. If you're working a panel knit, you may want to anchor it with some sort of border here so that the triple wraparound stitches that are worked on the very ends will have some place to anchor onto. Okay, and that is it for the triple wraparound stitch. And I hope that you enjoy this new technique and that you can find lots of new uses to put this to play on your projects. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time on the next installment of our Stitchology series.